Fantasizers! Welcome back for this episode of Fanta-Sci. Thank you for joining me. I have spent the past 3 weeks reading the First Law Trilogy, which I mentioned in my last video. The book that I had to reread is this one, The Blade itself. It was amazing. I kind of just skimmed through it, did a good recap, got some more information on the type of things that I had forgotten. So basically, with this trilogy, it's a high fantasy trilogy written by Abercrombie. I believe he started it in the mid-2000s. The last book was written maybe around 2008 or so. This series is pretty intense, okay? We have 3 different groups that are kind of fighting amongst each other. We have the Union, which is the capital of this world, the center of the world, where the main government lies, where the king lives, and that is where we get the points of view of both Jezzel, who is, you know, in the beginning he's kind of like just a soldier in training. He's kind of pompous, he is like Mr. Popular, you know, going around like sleeping with all the women. And then we get the point of view of Sans Dan Glocta, which is a torturer in the Inquisition, who kind of, you know, puts people up for trial, quote unquote, but in reality all he does is really torture them in a dungeon until he gets the answers that he wants. So those are the 2 points of view that we get from the Union. We then have the people that live in Gurkhill, the Gurkish people. They live in the south. We don't really get any points of view from them, but we know that they are at war with the Union and they are trying to take over their lands. The one point of view that we get a little bit of information is Pharaoh. Pharaoh is amazing. She's one of my favorite characters. Pharaoh was enslaved by the Gurkish as a child. They killed her family, and you don't get a lot of information about Pharaoh in the beginning other than she's like a complete badass. The third group of people is the people of the North. They are under the King Bethod, who has taken over as King of the North, and we get the point of view of Logan Ninefingers, who is by far the best character in the series. Logan Ninefingers has survived many battles. He lost a finger in one of those battles, which is why they call him Nine Fingers. You also find out that he has kind of an alter ego, that he gets real angry and turns into the Bloody Nine sometimes, and he kind of blacks out, kills everyone, and doesn't remember a lot of what happens. So in the beginning of the series, in The Blade itself, we kind of get organized, we figure out what's going on between these characters, and then we move on to Before They Are Hanged. So in Before They Are Hanged, all of these people kind of come together in a more pronounced way. There's now a definite attack of the Gurkish on the Union in one of their off-the-coast cities, which Glocta is sent to kind of defend and hopefully defeat the Gurkish in this battle. He has to kind of employ some people that he doesn't really trust, and we find out a lot about Glocta and his methods with his battle with the Gurkish. We get kind of a accumulation of characters when Logan and Pharaoh and Jezzel are all recruited by the first of the Magi. His name is Baez, and Baez wants to travel to the end of the world to find something that is called the Seed, that we don't learn about anything about it until kind of the end of the book. The frustrating thing about the book is that really nothing comes of this, so we have to wait until book 3 to see what the actual true point of it was. This is the book where I fell in love completely with Logan Ninefingers and with Pharaoh, because they're both amazing characters. They made me laugh. They are amazing warriors and amazing fighters. They both kind of have conflicting personalities. Logan he's a terrible, terrible person, but he doesn't want to be. So you kind of have like this kind of soft spot in your heart for him because he kind of wants to be a better person. Pharaoh, on the other hand, hates everyone, hates everything. She's a demon, literally and figuratively. You just can't help but love the hatred that comes off of her in every way, shape, and form. So after Before They Are Hanged, we have our last book in the trilogy, which is The Last Argument of Kings, and this is where everything comes to a head, obviously. By a crazy turn of events, Jezzel is now the king of the Union. He is not fit for this role. He is just completely naive. He doesn't know how to be a king. He doesn't have any idea that he has king's blood until the very last second when they elect him to be king. Half of the Union is kind of split and gone to the north to fight the Northmen and Bethod and everything that he stands for, and the other half are left to fight the Gurkish, which are now invading the Union. One of the best scenes in fantasy history is literally in the middle of this book when Logan Ninefingers has to fight this otherworldly magical creature in the north to kind of finally defeat Bethod and take over the control of the north. And then they all kind of travel to the Union where everything has just kind of come to a head and they have to figure out how they're going to defeat now the Gurkish. I don't want to tell you the finale of the book, but everything ends with a lot of action, a lot of killing, a lot of magic. The series ends in a spectacular fashion. So, needless to say, I was very happy with this series. I would recommend it completely and utterly, mainly because I have been so frustrated lately with the repetition from these fantasy stories. I've read the same thing over and over again. These books did not have any rhyme or reason as far as a series of events that happen in normal fantasy literature. There was no training center. There was no ultimate contest or anything like that. Everything was just very different. There was a very different organization of the way the books were written. I think Joe Abercrombie did a fantastic job of creating a very unique fantasy series, and my hat goes off to him. So thank you, Mr. Abercrombie. You have fully entertained me for the past 3 weeks. There are 3 more books in this world. The 3 others are spin-offs. I'm going to pick them up pronto, but I actually have a obligation at the moment. My dad bought me the Foundation series. 2 of them are here. Isaac Asimov. The other one is actually in the living room because I started it already. That was a birthday gift from my father, so I'm most definitely going to read Foundation. And I will get back to you on how that goes. So far, I think I'm on page about 60 or 65, and it's very Orwellian. You know, I'm getting a lot of, we're trying to change the world, but everybody's falling into the same political bullshit theme. So I'll let you know how that goes. Thank you, Fantasizers, for being a part of my family. I hope to see you back next time for the next episode of Fanta-Sci. I love you guys. Mwah!